Money rules the world, but who ruled money? From kings who minted the first coins to innovators who redefined global finance. This is the story of the people who changed the way we use, trade, and think about money. King Croesus. Long before banks and paper bills, money was raw and unreliable. King Croesus of Lydia changed that by minting the world's first standardized gold and silver coins. Every coin bore the seal of his kingdom, turning precious metals into trusted currency. For the first time, merchants could trade without weighing or testing gold. This innovation accelerated commerce across the Mediterranean. Croesus's wealth was so legendary, his name became synonymous with riches. His coins didn't just fund trade. They built armies, powered empires, and spread influence. It was the birth of money as we know it, small, portable, and universal. The impact was so profound that even today, the phrase "rich as Croesus" survives. He proved money was not just metal, it was trust, authority, and power. By creating standardized currency, he laid the foundation of global finance. Croesus turned wealth from chaos into order, and the world never looked back. Marco Polo. When Marco Polo traveled to China, he encountered something astonishing: paper money. In Europe, coins ruled the economy: gold, silver, copper. But in the Yuan dynasty, notes backed by the emperor's decree powered commerce. Polo marveled at how a piece of paper could buy goods, pay soldiers, or settle debts. When he returned to Europe, he described it in his famous book. At first, Europeans dismissed it as fantasy, even witchcraft. Yet within centuries, the idea took hold, transforming trade and banking. Paper money was lighter, safer, and scalable, perfect for expanding empires. Without Polo's account, the West might have taken longer to embrace it. This single concept reshaped global economies for centuries to come. It proved money didn't need to be shiny or heavy. It needed trust and authority. Marco Polo didn't invent paper money, but he brought its story to the world. Mayer Amschel Rothschild. Born in Frankfurt, Mayer Amschel Rothschild founded a dynasty that redefined global banking. He began with coin trading, but his genius lay in building networks. He placed his 5 sons in major European cities: London, Paris, Vienna, Naples, Frankfurt. Together, they created the first true international banking family. Their power wasn't in gold. It was in connections, information, and trust. They financed wars, kings, and infrastructure, shaping the destiny of nations. Governments relied on them because they delivered faster than bureaucracies. The Rothschild system pioneered modern finance: bonds, credit, and cross-border transfers. They became symbols of wealth, power, and sometimes conspiracy. Their empire showed that money was no longer local, it was global. Banking wasn't just about holding wealth, but moving it efficiently. Mayer Rothschild's vision turned finance into the nervous system of modern civilization. Adam Smith. In 1776, Adam Smith published The Wealth of Nations. It became the foundation of capitalism and modern economics. He introduced the idea of the invisible hand guiding markets naturally. Smith argued that true wealth came from productivity, not hoarded gold. His ideas fueled the Industrial Revolution, unlocking global trade. Specialization, free markets, and competition became economic law. Stock exchanges and corporations grew in the shadow of his theories. Even today, his name is cited in policy debates worldwide. Smith turned economics into a science, not just philosophy. He saw prosperity as dynamic, created by exchange and growth. Governments and markets alike borrowed from his vision. Adam Smith didn't just write a book, he wrote the DNA of capitalism. Karl Marx. Karl Marx flipped the script. He didn't praise money, he attacked it. He saw capitalism as exploitation dressed in profit. In Das Kapital, he argued wealth concentrated power in few hands. He believed workers were trapped by wages, stripped of freedom. His ideas fueled revolutions, unions, and socialist movements. Marx exposed money's darker side: inequality, crises, and greed. For half a century, his theories divided the globe. The Cold War was a battle of ideologies: capitalism versus communism. Even today, debates on inequality echo Marx's voice. Whether right or wrong, he forced the world to rethink wealth. He showed money isn't neutral, it shapes power and society. Karl Marx was not just a philosopher, but capitalism's greatest challenger. J.P. Morgan. In 1907, America faced a financial panic. Banks were collapsing. One man stepped in, J.P. Morgan. He gathered bankers in his library and demanded cooperation. His intervention saved the financial system from total ruin. Morgan became a one-man central bank before the Fed existed. His empire financed railroads, steel, and industrial giants. He was both admired as a savior and hated as a monopolist. His handshake could build or break companies overnight. Morgan proved private power could stabilize national economies, but his dominance also scared the public and inspired regulation. The Federal Reserve itself was partly a response to his power. J.P. Morgan didn't just trade stocks. He held Wall Street in his hand. John Maynard Keynes. When the Great Depression struck, economies worldwide collapsed. Keynes argued that governments could not sit back and wait. He believed spending and investment could restart growth. This was radical. Until then, markets were left to self-correct. Roosevelt's New Deal and post-war recovery echoed Keynes's ideas. He proved governments could act as engines of demand. Keynes turned economics into a toolkit for crisis management. Even today, stimulus packages bear his fingerprints. He redefined the role of states in finance and stability. Without Keynes, depressions might have lasted decades longer. He gave policymakers a way to fight recession, not just endure it. Keynes became the architect of modern macroeconomics. Milton Friedman. Friedman arrived when Keynesian ideas were being challenged. He argued governments often made economies worse, not better. His monetarist theory said, control money supply, control inflation. In the 1970s, his ideas guided policy during stagflation. Friedman championed individual freedom and deregulation. He inspired Reaganomics in the US and Thatcherism in the UK. He became the intellectual backbone of free market revolutions. Critics blamed him for inequality and corporate dominance. Supporters hailed him as the liberator of modern economies. Friedman's voice still dominates debates on inflation today. He rearmed capitalism with fresh intellectual firepower. Milton Friedman was capitalism's second revolutionary. Warren Buffett. Buffett transformed investing from speculation into discipline. Through Berkshire Hathaway, he built one of the greatest fortunes. His method? Buy strong businesses and hold for decades. He ignored market noise and focused on value. Buffett's patience outperformed gamblers chasing quick profits. His annual letters became financial Bibles for investors. He lived modestly, despite being one of the richest men alive. Buffett's philosophy taught wisdom over greed. He warned against bubbles, reckless risk, and short-term thinking. Generations of investors followed his calm, steady approach. Even governments and CEOs seek his advice today. The Oracle of Omaha turned investing into timeless art. Satoshi Nakamoto. In 2009, an unknown coder released Bitcoin. It was money with no banks, no governments, no borders. Satoshi designed a system based only on math and blockchain. The timing was no accident. It followed the 2008 crash. Bitcoin was rebellion, freedom, transparency, decentralization. Satoshi vanished, leaving behind a living revolution. From one white paper came thousands of cryptocurrencies. He proved money could exist outside traditional systems. To some, Bitcoin is digital gold. To others, it's chaos. But no one can deny its impact on global finance. Satoshi showed technology could challenge centuries of banking. His legacy may define the next era of money itself. Subscribe for more videos, and remember, YouTube's got something it knows you'll want to see next. Trust the algorithm. It's smarter than you think.